95-year-old Oscar winner's body was found in his New Mexico home, along with that of his wife and one of their dogs yesterday.
Gene Hackman's name has always stood for acting greatness. He's the legend who gave us unforgettable performances in The French Connection, Unforgiven, and so many other classics that shaped Hollywood history. With such an illustrious career, it seemed like he might spend his golden years in well-deserved peace, especially after retiring from the public eye back in 2004.
Breaking news, you're looking at video of one of the last times Oscar winner Gene Hackman, a known recluse in recent years, was seen in public.
But instead of closing the final chapter quietly, a shocking discovery has thrust this beloved actor back into the spotlight under tragic and deeply puzzling circumstances. Several days ago, news emerged that the 95-year-old Gene Hackman and his 64-year-old wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found dead in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. The first information leaked to the public hinted that the couple, along with their family dog, had died unexpectedly.
According to the audio, the caretaker could not answer questions on whether they were breathing or able to talk, telling the dispatcher, "Dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick."
Right away, the rumor mill began to churn. In these early moments, there was speculation about carbon monoxide poisoning, an accidental cause that sometimes claims lives silently, especially in older houses. But before anyone could accept that explanation outright, new layers of mystery began to surface. Officials at the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office announced that the timeline of these tragic deaths was off in ways that left them labeling the case suspicious.
Actor Gene Hackman's life coming to a shocking end inside his New Mexico home. Hackman and his wife found dead by maintenance workers. And
the world immediately wanted answers. How could something so terrible and bizarre happen to a man whose cinematic legacy spans 5 decades? And why would his wife of over 30 years die first, leaving him to pass away at some unknown time afterward? At first, the news seemed almost too unbelievable to process. Gene Hackman had been famously private after stepping away from the limelight. He was known for preferring quiet days filled with woodworking, painting, and even writing novels.
Not to mention, it's Thursday. They were discovered on Wednesday, and we're now just kind of figuring things out and hearing these bits of information that are coming out.
Rather than parading down red carpets, Betsy, his second wife, stood by him for 3 decades of marriage, an achievement in Hollywood where relationships often seem to unravel at lightning speed. No scandal, no tabloid drama, just 2 people enjoying a quieter, simpler life away from the paparazzi. And suddenly, they were gone. When authorities entered the Hackman residence, they didn't see any signs of forced entry.
Are they breathing?
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed.
A mystery surrounding the death of acting legend Gene Hackman.
Windows were intact, doors locked as usual. More disturbingly, neither body appeared to have suffered any overt physical harm or violence. This suggested there was no immediate evidence of foul play in the conventional sense. No break-ins, no scuffle, no bruises or wounds that pointed to homicide.
Of course, Hackman's work was legendary. He appeared in dozens and dozens of movies, major hits, sometimes the hero, sometimes the bad guy, or somewhere in between.
Yet, the strangest part was the difference in each person's time of death. According to the investigators' observations, Betsy may have been dead for days before Gene. How could that possibly happen without anyone realizing something was wrong? We then heard from Gene's daughter Leslie, who comes from his first marriage. She was quick to tell reporters that despite her father's advanced age, he was in remarkably good shape. He loved yoga and Pilates, remained active, and showed few signs of slowing down even at 95. He was sharp, engaged in his hobbies, and had no known illnesses that suggested a looming danger.
The star, his wife, and one of their dogs were found dead inside their Santa Fe, New Mexico home.
Leslie's utter confusion echoed a sentiment shared by fans and friends alike. If Gene Hackman was healthy and enthusiastic just days earlier, how did he end up in this terrible situation? Yet another curious twist comes from actor Dennis Quaid, who claimed he spoke to Gene just 3 days before authorities discovered the bodies. According to Quaid, Gene sounded perfectly fine, cheerful in fact. They discussed a woodworking project that Gene was excited to begin. If there were any problems brewing at home, whether emotional, health-related, or otherwise, it certainly didn't come through in that conversation.
This guy had such a legendary career. He was 95 years old and he'd retired from acting, so some outlets had already pre-written his obituary.
This testimony from Quaid only deepened the puzzle. Had a sudden catastrophic event taken both Jean and Betsy in quick succession, word spread that carbon monoxide poisoning might be a possibility. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless gas that can leak from certain heating systems or appliances. It can overtake a home without warning and cause victims to lose consciousness and pass away. Could Betsy have succumbed to a leak? And then Jean, arriving too late to save her or call for help, also fell victim.
Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
Both individuals tested negative for carbon monoxide. There was no immediate sign of foul play.
This theory initially seemed plausible, especially given that all three were found together: Jean, Betsy, and their dog. However, authorities have been reluctant to confirm this, calling the deaths suspicious and insisting on a full investigation. Because the bodies weren't discovered right away, the timeline has grown complicated. When a person passes, forensic indicators, body temperature, rigor mortis, other biological signs, offer clues about the time of death. But if someone isn't found quickly, those clues become less reliable.
His front door open, scattered pills on the bathroom countertop, one dog dead in the closet, two still alive on the property.
In this case, the notion that Betsy had died first is supported by the apparent condition of her body. She may have been gone for days. Jean's body, on the other hand, seemed to suggest a more recent time of death. So, if it were a case of carbon monoxide, it's odd to consider how one person might perish days ahead of the other in the same sealed environment. Investigators, therefore, are looking for more clues. Autopsy results and toxicology reports could finally illuminate the true cause. The Santa Fe County Sheriff, Mar Rodriguez, held a short briefing, basically saying no scenario is off the table. He explained there was no sign of forced entry or any obvious wrongdoing.
An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event was recorded on February 17th.
But until the autopsies came back, the department considered this a highly unusual situation, deserving of a thorough investigation. Indeed, Betsy Arakawa was known to be a classical pianist in her earlier years, described by those close to her as an intelligent, supportive partner who balanced Jean's strong personality. People say she encouraged him to leave acting in 2004 and embrace a more peaceful life, writing, painting, and immersing himself in crafts. For over 30 years, she was his steady rock, a presence that helped him enjoy post-retirement in ways many Hollywood legends never do. He was rarely photographed attending high-profile events in later years, and interviews became infrequent.
Citing call audio, NBC News says the caretaker told the dispatcher he would meet first responders at the gate because he didn't have an address for the house.
Friends believed the couple found contentment in their quiet routines and philanthropic efforts, particularly in educational and arts-related charities around Santa Fe. Leslie's words about the closeness of her father and stepmother underscored just how devastating this tragedy is for the Hackman family. Leslie paints a picture of two people who were deeply in love, supportive of each other's pursuits, and who seem to have found genuine happiness far from the chaotic energy of Los Angeles. She expressed gratitude for the outpouring of love, while pleading for privacy and an end to wild rumors. The family is, understandably, distraught and wants official channels, police, medical examiners to do their jobs without undue speculation that can add to the heartbreak. Meanwhile, in Hollywood circles, the reaction has been profound. Francis Ford Coppola, who directed Hackman in The Conversation, gave a statement calling Jean one of the greatest actors of all time. He lamented the loss as a blow to not just the film industry, but to cultural life as a whole.
Explaining, "I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in, but I see them. She's laying down from the window."
It's not every day that someone of Jean's caliber, with so many accolades, 2 Academy Awards, countless nominations, and iconic roles in everything from gritty cop dramas to comedic gems, passes away so suddenly and mysteriously. Many former co-stars and directors have joined in, expressing both sadness and disbelief, recounting how Jean brought intensity and realism to every character he portrayed. The question on everyone's mind is, what really happened inside that home? Could it be something as tragic as a lethal gas leak going undetected, or was it purely coincidental health issues that claimed Betsy first, followed by Jean's grief or a sudden medical emergency? Could there be a factor the authorities have yet to reveal, an environmental toxin, or perhaps a subtle health crisis that escalated quickly? Suspicion remains primarily because of the odd timing. If the couple died at nearly the same time, carbon monoxide might fit. But if days passed between their deaths, that explanation becomes harder to sustain. In addition, we have the mention of the dog also being found deceased. Pets in such cases often serve as early detectors of something wrong. Sometimes they react to carbon monoxide or other hazards by showing signs of distress.
The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office previously confirmed to NBC News that the 95-year-old actor, who won 2 Academy Awards during his acting career, was found dead February 26th in his Santa Fe, New Mexico home.
The fact that the dog also perished suggests a shared cause, but not necessarily carbon monoxide. Investigators simply don't have the toxicology results yet, and that leaves them piecing together a puzzle in the dark. Forensic experts who have weighed in from the sidelines point out that the delayed discovery complicates determining an exact cause. Tissues decompose, certain chemicals dissipate, and crucial evidence can be lost. By the time authorities arrived, the environment may no longer have provided clear indicators. Was there a defective heating system, an unnoticed leak, or did something else happen entirely? Perhaps simpler than we realize, but still tragic. Gene Hackman's daughter, Leslie, has firmly asked for patience, requesting that fans and the media refrain from wild speculation. She emphasizes her father's healthy disposition right before this happened, adding that the shock factor has been tremendous for their entire family. With a career as storied as Gene's, the public interest is massive. But that attention can quickly morph into rumor.
New information this morning on the shocking death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife. They were discovered inside their home in Santa Fe on Wednesday after a neighbor called police to conduct a welfare check.
Leslie hopes that everyone can hold off on conclusions until the autopsy reports are complete and the authorities can make a more definitive statement. For the moment, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office is continuing its investigation, gathering every piece of data available: phone records, security footage, statements from close friends and neighbors. They want to verify the last known communications from both Gene and Betsy. Who spoke to them last? Beyond Dennis Quaid's brief conversation, was there anything in the Hackman household that might point to a mechanical or environmental failure? And if so, why was it not detected earlier? What emerges from all these details is a portrait of 2 people who shared a strong, loving bond. Gene Hackman spent more than 30 years with Betsy, well beyond the public glare. He'd already accomplished nearly everything an actor could dream of. From major box office successes to critical acclaim, from working with the biggest directors to winning multiple Oscars. Betsy, a talented classical pianist, came into his life during the 1980s at a time when his career was still riding high. Their relationship spanned the remainder of his time in Hollywood and continued into his private retirement years. By all accounts, Betsy was a balancing force, encouraging him to slow down and enjoy life beyond the cameras. Their story was supposed to be about contentment in later years, a dynamic actor who found solace in new creative pursuits, and a supportive partner who helped him navigate that transition.
Now, a man who identified himself as the subdivision's caretaker called 911 after finding the bodies.
That's why the circumstances of their deaths, mysterious, drawn out, with no immediate explanation, hurt so much. It doesn't follow the pattern that one might expect of 2 people living peacefully in a home they cherished. Gene Hackman's legacy is secure. An actor admired for bringing gritty realism and incredible range to every role. He was Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, Lex Luthor in the Superman films, Little Bill Daggett in Unforgiven, and countless other memorable characters. He possessed the rare ability to be both likable and intimidating on screen, and that talent garnered him fans across generations. His retirement was unique in that it didn't involve a flurry of farewells. He simply stepped back, eventually telling the world he was done acting, then proceeding to live quietly, writing novels and exploring painting. That calm exit from the limelight left fans with a sense that perhaps the star was happily pursuing personal passions with his wife in the serenity of New Mexico. It's precisely why this sudden, unexplained ending seems almost too jarring to believe. Now, people in the entertainment industry and beyond are left mourning not just the loss of a great actor, but the deeply unsettling way it happened. Leslie Hackman has urged everyone to give the family space in their grief. She's assured the public that an investigation is underway and that we will eventually learn the truth. Though, depending on the complexity of the toxicology findings, it may take some time.
Hello, my name is Ron Begay. I'm the caretaker for Santa Fe Summit. I'm here past 10,000 waves. I think we just found two.
In the meantime, fans reflect on Gene Hackman's enormous contribution to film and hope that the final word on his passing will shed enough light to bring closure. In the days ahead, more details will inevitably surface. Autopsy reports can confirm or dispel rumors of a carbon monoxide leak or any other environmental cause. Toxicology tests could reveal if there was a medical event or some kind of poisoning. And investigators will piece together the timeline. When exactly did Betsy pass away? And what did Gene do during the gap between her death and his? Did he try to get help? Did he too simply succumb to whatever took her life? Only a comprehensive forensic examination can separate fact from speculation. Until then, the rest of us can take a moment to honor Gene Hackman's extraordinary body of work and the life he built with Betsy. They chose a quieter path, away from the noise of Hollywood, and devoted themselves to each other for more than 30 years, a remarkable feat in any industry.
Their German Shepherd dog, all of them tonight mysteriously dead. The police right now are ruling out a carbon monoxide leak,
let alone in the often tumultuous world of show business. Their partnership, which seemed built on genuine support and affection, is a vital piece of this story. It's also a reminder that, no matter how famous or talented someone may be, real life can be complicated and sometimes heartbreakingly mysterious. The lessons we might glean from this tragedy are still unclear. Perhaps, in time, we'll learn that something as mundane as a faulty appliance can lead to a profound loss, even for a celebrity couple in a well-maintained home. Or maybe we'll discover a different cause entirely. For now, we wait with the rest of the world, sending condolences to the Hackman family and respecting their call for privacy. Because at the end of it all, Gene Hackman wasn't just an actor. He was a husband, a father, a friend, and a community member. Behind every Hollywood icon is a real person, vulnerable to the same frailties and dangers as anyone else. In life, Gene Hackman commanded the screen with unwavering presence and talent. In death, he leaves behind a legacy that continues to captivate and a final mystery that we hope is resolved with truth and respect.
This frantic 911 call captured the moment they were found.
Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here.
Friends, colleagues, fans, and family stand united in heartbreak, waiting for that final piece of the puzzle that explains how two people who seem to have it all could slip away in such an unsettling fashion. Until those details come to light, all we can do is remember Gene Hackman's enormous contribution to the arts, honor the bond he shared with his beloved Betsy, and trust that the investigation will shed clarity on a situation that, for now, remains just out of our reach.